Hey guys, it's Liz. Welcome back to my channel. So I don't know if you've heard, but Christmas is right around the corner. So we're doing Vlogmas. I don't know if you've heard of Vlogmas, but basically it's when YouTubers put up a video every day for the month of December, but I really wanted to do something a little different. So as I've been kind of reflecting on the fact that it's December, it's the end of not just the year, but the decade. We're going into 2020, it's Christmas time. I really wanted to put out something that would be very meaningful over the next few days this week. So that's where this devotional series comes from. So the whole idea of Deeper Still is the fact that it's not too late. You know, even though it's December, even though we might feel like time is just passing by so quickly, I want to remind you and encourage you this week that God is still here. I want you to be able to go deeper still with Him. You don't have to wait for January 1st, 2020 to come around for you to have a fresh start. In fact, I believe the fresh start starts right now. It starts whenever you choose to go deeper with God. And so, for the next 5 days, we're going to be doing a devotional together, which I am so excited for. So that means every single day, I will be uploading a new video as part of this devotional series. And we're going to be looking a little deeper in a familiar story, which I will be getting at very shortly. But before we do, I'm so excited to announce that I have an e-devotional that goes along with this series, a written devotional that you can use to follow along. You can even get the devotions before the video is uploaded to my channel this week. And each day is going to correspond with each video that is going up. And so I highly encourage you to grab this devotional. It is 100% free. It's on my website. I will leave the link below, and I cannot wait for you to read it because I worked so hard on it, and I really pray that it will be something that you can carry with you wherever you go, no matter what time of year it is. So guys, we have so much to cover today. Today is kind of day one of Vlogmas. It's the intro to this devotional and also day one of the devotional. So let's not waste any more time and get right into it. So here is the story that we're going to be getting into. It's the prodigal son in Luke 15 verses 11 through 32. Now, my e-devotional, I give a full breakdown of the entire story from beginning to end. I would encourage you first to read Luke 15, 11 through 32 on your own, because I'm not going to be reading the whole thing in this video for the sake of time. And I also want to encourage you to get the e-devotional so that you can get the breakdown and you can go back to it whenever you need to. I will be going back and forth throughout the story so that you can get a sense of what is going on. Anyways, here is a basic understanding of this parable. So what we have is a father and two sons. And the father is an illustration of God. And for the two sons, we have two different figures here. One is the younger son, which is the repentant sinner. It's anyone who comes to the Lord. And then we have the older son, who represents the scribes and Pharisees who accuse Jesus time and time again, because they're saying, why would the Son of God be dealing with sinners? They were missing the point. So this story goes on from there with the young son who takes his father's inheritance and he runs away with it. He lives recklessly until he has absolutely nothing left. And so eventually he decides to return home to his father. What happens is that the father embraces him and he has a huge celebration celebrating his son's return. But the older son doesn't really like that. He does not like the celebration. He believes that the younger son was unfaithful and so he doesn't deserve it. But the father corrects him in love. He explains the celebration is the fact that his younger son was lost and now he's found. He was once dead in his sins and now he's made alive because he has come home. And so this whole story, long story short, is an illustration on God's love and his mercy on us. No matter where we are, he welcomes us and he's ready to forgive and receive us. Going off of this summary, I don't know what your 2019 has looked like. I don't know where you've been. I don't know what you've gone through. I don't know what you're experiencing. Maybe you're at a place of defeat, pain, rejection. Maybe you feel lost today. Maybe you feel like you're tired. Maybe you feel exhausted after this year based on whatever you've been going through. But I want to encourage you with the fact that you're not forgotten by God. And so for day 1 of the Deeper Still series, the Deeper Still devotional, I want to encourage you with this fact. Let God meet you where you are. So for today's passage that we're going to be concentrating on, it's actually one verse. It's Luke 15, verse 20, which reads, "And he arose and came to his father, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion, and ran and embraced him and kissed him." So here we are starting at the end of the story. What's very interesting is that this is when the younger son is finally returning home to his father after he has lost the inheritance he has been given. His father sees him. And what's interesting is the verse says, when he is still far off, like when he's still a long way off, he is far away. The father sees him. He comes running towards his son. When you let God meet you where you are, you take that one step towards him and you find that he comes running towards you. He is ready to embrace you. I wonder in the story if the father was just looking out. He was waiting for that day that his son would come home. God is just the same. He is waiting on us. He doesn't forget that you exist. What's interesting is the step that the son took. Verse 18, he says, "I will arise and go to my father." This is the point when the son realizes it's time to come home. He realizes that he needs his father. And that was the decision he made. And what's interesting for us is no matter where we are, even if you feel like you have no strength left, even if you feel like you have been bogged down with doubt, maybe you feel so distant from God in this moment. When you take a step towards him, can you believe he takes so many steps towards you? When you seek him, you find him. He is not a God who is hiding. He is a God who is searching actively. He is a God who is looking out for you. And what's interesting again is the fact that the father knew his son was gone. He didn't forget, yet the father still meets with him. He doesn't say, "I know what you did. I am not coming towards you. I am not welcoming you in my home." That is not what the father does. Later on in the story, if you know it, and we'll get into this in a few days, is that the older brother condemns the son. And even when he does that, the father does not condemn the son. And so he embraces him. He desires to celebrate. And you can see that how, again, in the parable, the father runs towards the son. Can you believe that? And so what's interesting is that to go deeper with God doesn't mean you have to try harder to earn his affection, because his affection is already there. What it means is to allow him to embrace you. The son didn't need to clean up his act. He came home, and for a while he had been working feeding pigs. Maybe he was smelly. Maybe he didn't have any clothes. He didn't have money on him. Who knew what condition he was in? Who knew what he looked like? Yet the father saw him. He knew, that's my son. And he ran towards him. He embraced him. He kissed him. So what I want to encourage you to do today is to approach God where you are. You don't need to clean yourself up first. You don't need to fix yourself first. I want you to come to the Lord as you are, with whatever doubts you have, with whatever fears you have, with whatever things you have done, things that you're ashamed of, whatever things you regret. I want you to come to him exactly as you are. And so we're going to be ending every single day with a reflection. And in my devotional, I leave these questions there. And so again, I'll encourage you to get it so that you can hold on to them. But today's reflection is this: where are you today? What's weighing on your heart? So what I want to encourage you to do in your quiet time for today's devotional is to have a conversation with God. You don't need to have special words. You don't need to know exactly what you need to say and this and that. Just come to him and have a conversation with him, just as you would have a conversation with any friend. I want you to let him know what's going on in your head today and ask him to meet you where you are. And I assure you, he will come and he will embrace you fully with that. And so, guys, that's today's devotional. I am so excited for tomorrow. Don't forget to grab the e-devotional so you can follow along. So stay tuned and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.